She can walk that walk, walk that walk, walk that walk, walk that walk, walk that walk.
So, hey everybody, it's Sunday night, and let me just put a little disclaimer outside. Look, just because my hair, see on camera, my hair doesn't look like it's done, but I promise you it's done. I washed my hair, I greased my hair, and now it's looking curly. My main goal is to bring back my afro. I'm kind of feeling my afro, but that's neither here and there. So let's do a little story time because I do have a few stories to tell y'all, and I'm in the mood to talk about it because it just came back up in my head. And it was funny because I was just looking at somebody who was a little short, like I think he was 5'6", and he was trying to, read something in the counter in the supermarket. But let's talk about this shit. So let me tell you about the time where I was on a dating site and I met somebody on this dating site who was constantly harassing me for no reason for whatsoever. He probably did have a reason but didn't want to tell me. So this guy finally worked up the courage to want to talk to me, and then he asked me for my number. So at the time, in my mind, I'm thinking he's like a good 5'8", 6 feet tall, because I saw his pictures, and when you take pictures or you even on video camera, it adds on 10 pounds, and it makes you a little taller than what you really are. And it reminded me of the other guy that I used to talk to that I became friends with on YouTube, and he is a real estate agent as well. So when I saw him on the video, he looked like he was a little tall. So I was like, okay. And I thought he was cute and all. So I was like, yo, let me try to see if we could link up, whatever. And I wanted to link up as a friend. So that's why I was a little skeptical about this one, because being that I couldn't see him much, but all I saw was a headshot. So I looked into his profile and I wanted to know what else he got going on. So long story short, after 3 days of talking to each other, we finally met with each other on a weekend. And he lived in White Plains Rolls, which is not too far from me, say about 35 minutes. And when I first met him, this dude was, Lord forgive me, I try to find my place in heaven, I try so hard to make it right, but hey, whatever. This guy was 4'11", nowhere near as tall as me. And when I first saw him, when I got off the train and out of the train station, I was really shocked. Like, I wanted to run back up in the train station so fast, but I didn't want to look mean, and I didn't want to sound mean, and I didn't want to be disrespectful. So I had to suck it up for that night and pretend like I was enjoying his company and enjoying the little date we had. So his version of a date was hanging out and do some stupid Netflix and chill type shit at the time. And he really did try to sleep with me. And I was just like, oh, hell no. In the back of my mind, I'm sitting here thinking of so many short jokes I could I could possibly say. But I was like, at the same time, I don't want to look like an asshole. And then he kissed me out of his apartment. And that's when he just starts bashing me. So I had to be on some good girl type shit and be like, you know what? Let me take it easy on him and let me just be nice and let's have a conversation and let's have drinks. And at the time, I was in my 20s, and I was a very impressionable young woman, because in my mind, I was addicted to bad boys. I was addicted to guys that has to be 6 feet tall, muscular, and know what he wants and know what he got. You gotta have it all together. You know what's going on between me and you. Anybody that's around me knows I'm very picky. I'm very picky with everything because I know what I want and I know what I provide and I know what I'm capable of. So if I'm coming through 100% with everything I got, I want you to be the same. Don't come up short. So the entire night, this guy was flirting with me. This guy was touching my leg. He was basically trying to put a move on me. And then when the movie was over, he calls himself trying to sleep with me. This was a part where I grabbed my bag and I left. So I was like, okay, it was cool. Yes, we could be friends. No, we can date. And no, you're not my type. I don't want to be mean about it, but I don't date short guys. And I let him have it. Like, it really spilled out. Like, I held it in for so long. And then I found out he had a roommate. So I was like, okay, I'm still not going crazy over it. None of this is really phasing me. The only thing that was phasing me was the fact that he was short and that he was trying to sleep with me. And it was even worse because I'm like, first of all, I don't sleep with somebody that I just met on the first day. And then two, this wasn't even a real date because we were sitting at your house watching a video. So with that being said, I end things off with him. So I kindly dropped him. I erased his number, and I even blocked him on the dating website. So somebody else told me about an online dating site. I don't know. It's like on the phone. It's one of those Lava Life dating phone lines. So my friends and I were sitting here laughing about it. Long story short, I was the only person that was like so desperate to find somebody at the time because I'm in my 20s. And at this point, I was already over with the partying and going out, staying out till 5 in the morning. So I was like, I need somebody that could stay at home with me. I need somebody that I can spend my time with and go on dates with. All of my other friends had their little boyfriends and their little lovers, and they was having fun. And I'm sitting here alone. So I'm like, okay, let me go back on dating sites. I tried 3 different dating sites, from Tag to Plenty of Fish to other stuff, and it did not work for me at all. For some reason, it was like bad luck for me from there on. I met over 10 guys over the course of 2 years, and the last time I met somebody up on a site was Tag. And I think this was this was the first time I ever connected with somebody, and somebody that checked almost all the boxes on my list. And I felt like I ain't had to say anything because he already knew what I wanted and he felt my vibe. And there's nothing like connecting with somebody on a deeper level where you understand the person and kind of find out y'all two have so much in common. Now, here's the difference. He is a Muslim. And I didn't know if Muslims date outside of their religion. And you know how many times I had to ask plenty of people, because I met 3 guys that was Muslims. They all was black, and they all was between the ages of 20 and 35. And he was the oldest person I ever dated, because at the time he was 37, and I say I was like 33, 34 years old. And we were seeing each other up until 2019, and that was the last time I seen him. Now, we was only casually dating, and I thought he was strict, but he's not. Not only that he wasn't strict about his religion, but he just didn't give a damn. He was more of a free love type of guy. I love all peoples, no matter where you come from. He was that type of guy. He was a sweetheart, respectful, understanding, and I had plenty of fun with him. And honestly, deep down inside, I do miss him sometimes, because at the end of all this, we remain friends. We decided to become friends because ain't no way we could get rid of 2 years of friendship that we connected with on so many levels. And he felt the same way. He was like, how can I break off a friendship with somebody who I have so much fun with, so much in common with? Like, you're a cool chick and you hear me out. And I was really that person that would be there for you no matter what. And he was the same thing. So it wasn't until after he finally gets to see his daughter that he had to move to another location. And I guess he wanted to be closer to her. But the moral of the story is, don't online date, okay? Don't. If you don't care of how the person looks and their size, fine. Then by all means, go do the online dating. But if you're like me and you have a personal preference because that's just something you're comfortable with, please make sure you find out real details of the person. Tell them to send you real pictures of him standing up, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if like, what if you become disappointed? And unlike me, there's a lot of people out here who don't give a damn, that would actually tell you to your face, like, hey, I don't think this is going to work. You're not my type, just for the simple fact that you look like this. I can't be that way, and I try hard not to be that way because I don't want to be rude. I am not a mean person. I'm not a mean-spirited person. I'm a very sweetheart. I'm a very, very nice person with a nice heart, and I don't want to break nobody's heart. But when somebody pushes me to that level, I have to say something, because at this point, you don't take no for an answer. You don't get the hint. I try to get you to read between the lines. And that's exactly what I did with this guy that night, trying to get him to read between the lines, because I'm like, I'm so used to big, strong men. I'm used to guys that's a little more aggressive, that has the alpha male behavior, somebody who's more on the romantic side, that likes to go out and have fun. And he was none of those things at all. He was the homebody type. He was the type to go to church. He was a good boy, other than being 4'11". So I don't know. That was just kind of crazy. And I was like, I think that's one of the funniest times I ever had in my life when it comes to dating. And I online dated for 3 years. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. I was dating online for 3 years, met so many peoples, and out of all them peoples, I just became friends with one person. And we're not friends anymore because he moved away, of course. But other than that, I would never online date, and I don't recommend nobody to online date either.